Hi, I'm Lori Schneider with Homeworld Business Magazine here at the 2010 International Home and Houseware Show in Chicago with Guy Fieri. You may know Mr. Fieri from some of his television endeavors, but today we're here talking about his latest and greatest product in the housewares market, the Knuckle Sandwich series of knives.
I was using the Ergo knife. These guys had made this really dynamite ergonomically designed knife in my arsenal of knives that I have at my house. And when I continue to go back to that knife and continue to utilize that knife, and I can use it and it's sharp and it's holding an edge and it's comfortable in my hand, and I do a lot, we do a lot of mise en place in my house. We do a lot of breaking down everything from vegetables to meat to you name it. And this was always my go-to knife. This was the one that I was always using. So when we started talking about, do I want to do a line of knives, I said, well, let's see what these Ergo guys, I don't want to do their knife and just put my name on it. It's got to be my knife. It's got to have, so here's the things I like about my knife. And so as we went through it, the guys from Ergo were so accommodating and so interested in making the next level of knives that we just continued going with it. So we started with the big stick, which is my chef knife, and then we went to. So we had this. We started with this big boy, and it fits, like a tennis player or a golf pro. They have the racket or the club that fits right in their hand. This, to me, had to fit right in my hand. It had to feel good in my hand. So that's how it got started, and then we just moved on. And we just continued to design knives that work in my profile, that work in my style, and it takes a while. We just came out with the little guy and the chopper, and two knives that I probably wasn't as inclined to want to do because I don't use a lot of paring knives. I've learned to make everything happen with a chef knife, and but really started to understand why a paring knife was needed. Actually, use a paring knife now more than I use my chef knife because I had it, so why not do it? So great knives, again, big handles, able to get your hand around it, but still not so big that my wife doesn't feel uncomfortable using it. But a really nice little paring knife. We break the tips off of everything. We kind of roll the tip over a little bit because nothing worse than to see a knife with a broken tip. But it's good steel. It's a big handle. It looks good in its package. And then we just came out with the big Battle Station knife set.
Yeah, that's a beautiful piece. I noticed that this was brand new. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this? Because I know it's got some really signature characteristics to it.
Well, everybody's had a million knives and had knife sets and all these different things. And I think that when you get a knife block, and it's so proprietary to those knives, that when you try to take your knife and you put it in, and then all of a sudden your knife is sticking, that far out of it because you're in the wrong spot. This is a big knife block. It houses all the knives. And if you have other knives, everybody has their, a knife they really love. This is accommodating. Plus, things like thermometers and shears and zesters and all these other little ancillary tools that we use. Different chefs use different things. I had some utility spots put in here, so you can put other stuff in there. There's nothing worse than having it only work the way it was designed. I want it to be universal for people to really have some ability to make it adapt. We came out with a line of steak knives, and the steak knives, the idea behind this was a really good knife has this nice thumb divot or finger divot that you can really get on the knife, control the knife, so when you're cutting into something, you're not hitting the steak and it goes zinging off your plate. It's all those kind of little things to me. You either do it right or we're not going to do it. And so this one's been in the process for about a year and a half to come with this knife, and we're almost there. This will probably be the last prototype, or maybe one more slight variation to it. But I think that the knives getting put in the knife drawer or in the silverware drawer, when you take a steak knife and do that, you just continue to dull it. Every time you open that drawer, it slides, it buffs against somebody, it dulls. This here, we put the blade, we put it in backwards. Okay, same thing with you notice how the knives go in, so they're not going down on their blade. There's just all, because you would say to people, well, put them up. But no one puts their knife in like that. But people will put their knife in like that, and then we just have that much more care and attention paid to the blade, and we're not dulling it up even more. So it's just coming from a chef perspective, coming from a restaurateur perspective, coming from a dad and cooking at home, coming from all those perspectives, everything has to come back to making it the real deal. And so that's how it came about. I'm thrilled. I think these.